My name is Bia Fekana. I'm a designer based in Nigeria. Today we're going to be making this jumpsuit. It's a request by one of our members in our Facebook group. And please subscribe if you've not subscribed, like and share. I'm starting with my basic trouser pattern and my basic top pattern here. My top pattern has a shoulder dart and then I have a waist dart, and it's on fold because our jumpsuit is a wrap jumpsuit. If it's a wrap jumpsuit, you need a pattern that's on fold like this for the top pattern. This is my back. So I'm going to start with the top part of my pattern. This is my front pattern, my basic front pattern. So I'm marking from my shoulder to where the dart ends. So that's my mark. Then I'm going to just cut off. Let me just cut and then explain the next step. I'm cutting. Okay, get rid of this piece. This is what we need. And we need 2 of this. In the picture, we actually just have a pleat somewhere down here. So we have a pleat somewhere here. The pleat on this particular style is not that much. So what I'm going to do to get my pleats is I'm going to have to transfer this dart this way. I transfer this dart here. Since my pleat isn't much, this is probably going to be all I need to transfer. So let's do that. To transfer, I have to, this is the end of this my dart. I'm going to just connect the line. I've connected the up dart to the down dart. Then I'm marking towards this way. This point where I have the X is my bust point, the epes. So I'm marking from there this way, and I'm good. So I'm going to just cut through. So I'm cutting, and then I'm entering a little bit here. So when I'm done, I close my dart, this particular dart. As I close, it opens up this way. So I'm closing down, and this is me. So my dart is here now. This space now becomes my pleat. This pattern is going to have a pleat here or gathers. I think it's a pleat. Then I've gotten here now. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of pleat this. I'm trying to think which way it faced in the picture. I think down is good. Okay. So what I'm doing here is that I just my dart now becomes a pleat. Look at the side. So I just fold it downwards and then I cut. So this is me. If I open it up, this is what I have. I close it back and see. As I close it back, you notice this place gets up beautifully. That's sort of a cup. Then we're going to sew our dart. By the time you still sew your dart, see the effect here. When I'm sewing, I just fold and sew. So you see the effect we're having here. This is the pattern. So I keep this aside for a minute. And then the back, this is my back pattern. The back pattern, I'm going to just cross check, look at the neck. I think my neck matches. And then I don't want my neck to be too open, so I think this is good. This is my up pattern. This is the front, this is the back. I'm putting it together to make sure that the shoulder is in a line, so that when I'm sewing it, I know that it matches up. So this is me. I think I'm good. So I'm going to keep this aside and deal with the down path, which is the trouser. This is my pants pattern or my trouser pattern. So in order to take this to a palazzo trouser pattern, I have to slash and spread it. So I'm going to just cut a line at the middle and then add space to it. I think if you have a yardstick, it will be so good to use. A yardstick is easier. So this is me. Let me cut through. So this is this is how much I'm going to slash and spread my pants. I like, you can look at the down. The down is a bit more open than the top. That's the effect I want. I would like the up to be a little bit fitted. Then the down should be wider. I think I like this look. I'm going to do the same thing to the back. Then I'll put paper underneath. What I've done here is, this is the space I want. So I'm going to, at the end of the day, use an other color of pattern paper to indicate that I added something to it, as in for myself. It helps me see how much space I've added, if I'm okay with it, if it looks okay. So I'm going to do that. When I'm done doing that, you see in the process of our cutting. You will notice I have a line here. I thought I had to explain this. If you've ever made an outfit like this before, you would have noticed that when you're done, the neckline does not relax. The reason is that when an outfit cuts across the chest like this, it's a surplice design. So you have excess at that point that crosses the front of your chest. So that calls, professionally, you have a dart here. Now, I didn't want to start explaining how the dart is done, blah, 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 blah. It's really, really, really not. So what I did, I cut, took out the dart here. If you know what I'm talking about, please do that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it doesn't make sense to you. Then another way of doing it is, you just stitch a thread, as in with your machine, your loose stitches, you stitch from this beginning to the end. You do the same at the second side. You know this, we're going to cut 2. So you run from top to down. As you run, what you've done is that you've taken out a little from the front of your top. So by the time you sew it, it will lap beautifully. You remember, this is our pleats. that would pleat downwards. So after you've done your pleats, you can run your stitch and you're good. Another thing that I wanted us to look at again is jumpsuit. The pattern that I used for my jumpsuit, my trouser pattern, is actually sort of normal waist. It's a normal waisted pattern that I used. So if I should sew these two together, I'm going to have a hang. Okay, this is where I'm gonna try. If I'm to sew these two together, I'm going to have a hang. So what we are going to do is we are going to add at the middle of this. So the basic allowance to add if your trouser is low, but if your trouser is a high-waisted trouser, then you're good. You don't need to add anything. My trouser isn't high waist. Look at my crunch. It's telling me that. So I'm going to add 3 inches here. Basically, it's between 3 to 5 inches. You end up having a hang. You can't sit down, you can't move freely and all that. So with this, I'm good. The back, I'm going to do the same thing at the back. But for me, I noticed that if I do the same 3 inches at my back, it's a little too long. So my back, I'm going to do two and a half at my back. I suggest that you try and see what works for you. This is what works for me. So this is my pants pattern or my trouser pattern. You see what I've done here. The opening at my down, okay, you can see the opening of my down, I did 4 inches here, and then this place is about 3 inches, blah blah blah. I needed my up pattern to be a little smaller. This is not up to an inch, let's say 3/4 of 1 inch. I want the up to be a little free, not that free, because I like it fitted. And the style, it's like that. The up is not very free, the down is free. So I just did that. Then the back, I did the same thing at the back. This is my fabric that I choose. It's is light, but not very light. It's light. It has a little bit of drape, so it's going to hang beautifully for a jumpsuit. I didn't want something too airy, but something not too thick either. Then I have this piece of African fabric at home, and then I think the two will go beautifully together. I want a touch of this there. I'm going to use it for one side of the wrap, then the belt. Yeah, so this is my fabric spread out, my pattern on it. I have my pattern weights holding it down. Then I said my back, the addition in my back, I added about 2 inches and a little, because I noticed that 3 was too much for me. Then the front, this part of my front is 3 inches. Here it's 2 inches, and to match the back, because you're going to have to join the side of your trousers or your pants together. Then I'm going to just cut out the front, and then I'll tell you the next step. This is, I've cut my fabric. This is my front, one side of my front. And then this is the facing. I decided to do a facing instead of lining it. I think I like facing. This is the facing. So remember what I said about if you didn't have a cut, if you didn't have a center front dart in your pattern, then you sew from this to the end, and then it will sort of pull together a bit. You do the same for the lining, and then you sew. You do the same for the facing. I meant to say you sew, then iron it neatly. Your facing would have to have interfacing to give it a little body. Then I'm going to do that, sew my pants together. Then I would my zip, I think I'm going to have a zip behind. Okay, I'm going to sew my pants together, sew my top together, then I'll show you what it looks like. I've gone ahead and joined the down part of my jumpsuit. I joined, everything is joined. I joined the legs, joined the sides. At my sides, I have opening here for the side pockets. Opening here for the side pocket. From the waist, I have 2.5 inch. Then 5-inch opening for a female hand. 2.5 inch, 5-inch opening for a female hand. Then the back of my pants, I have opening here for the zip. I'm going to have a zip across my back to enable me to wear it. But every other part is stitched down. This is the upper part of the jumpsuit. Then this is the opening behind. My facing, and I interfaced. Then at this point now, this part is that cut that we had the dart that we transferred down here. So I decided to leave it so that I can show you how to do this. So what we are going to do now is to close. This is the top part of the jumpsuit. I've joined. As you can see, the openings here I've closed. Okay. This part is this part of the jumpsuit. So by the time these two, you sew like this, you close like this. By the time you've sewn this way, you've sewn this way and fold it like this, it will now look this way. See the folds? Those that automatically become folds. And then don't forget that you have a side bust dart here that you sort of sew in. The next thing to do now, you overlap the top of your jumpsuit. See the way I've arranged it. I like this being topped. Then after that, you sort of join the waist together. You fix the zip behind. I'll go and do that. I'll join my waist, fix my pocket, and then show you the next step. I just want to quickly show how you can get the pocket for a female pocket. Like the type of putting in this, the type in this particular jumpsuit is an inseam pocket. So you put your hand. If you're making for an adult, you just put your hand. If it's for a child, you put the child's hand. For an adult, so I'm putting my hand. You open it a bit. Open it will allow you some room. So open it a bit, then you just trace around it. You will notice that when you buy your clothes, a female clothes, the pockets are always shaped this way. So this is my pattern now. I have pattern for my pocket. Then I think I like this shape. This is like the finished shape when I'm done. So to cut out, I'm going to just add half-inch allowance, half-inch, 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 all the way around, and you cut it out. You have two of these for each side of the jumpsuit, so two this way, two this way.